Webinar has started. All right. For those of you just joining, thank you so much. Eric and I are going to wait just a few minutes before we get started. Probably try to start at about 12:02. Just give people a minute to get logged on before we jump in. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Charles Wines has joined. Maybe one more minute. Looks like attendees have kind of slowed down. So one more minute. For those of you that are already logged in, just a reminder to please use the Q&A function throughout the presentation. We would love to see your questions, and that Q&A is the easiest way for us to monitor them. How's the weather in Lincoln City today, Eric?
It's a little drizzly finally.
Is it? Finally?
How about where you're at?
It's sunny. It's nice out, it looks like.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think? 12:01, 12:02. Let's get started.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Katie Smith. I am a homeownership counselor at Adair's Crestwell office. And Eric, why don't you say a little about yourself?
Well, my name is Eric, and I'm a homeownership counselor on the beautiful Oregon coast in Lincoln City.
We're presenting to you today the 2659 Liberty Plan. This is one of my favorite plans. And I also like to preface our presentations by saying that I just recently completed a build with Adair and moved in, and Eric is currently building with Adair. So we would love to field your questions. Send them all our way, whether they're specifically about this plan or anything that's on your mind. Please use that Q&A function, and Eric's going to be monitoring that as we present. So send your questions to us. But without further ado, the 2659 Liberty Plan. So I'm going to start by showing you the exterior options, the standard floor plan, and then we're going to watch a video of the house. So what you're looking at here is a 2-story integrated garage, Liberty in the classic exterior. Classic meaning there's just all lap siding all the way around. You'll see on our website that there are multiple exterior facades for all of the houses. We call them elevations. And I just like you to know that these are not what you are limited to. So for example, if you're saying, I like this classic, but I wish the garage had windows in it. I wish there were shutters. I wish there were this or that. These can all be modified and built upon. So these are just starting ideas, but not by any means what you are limited to. The house that we're showing you today is the Craftsman elevation of the Liberty. And what you should know about the exterior of our homes is that all of the siding is a fiber cement board. It's James Hardie brand. In this specific example, Craftsman, we actually have cedar shake. So this being the only exception to the Hardie is on the Craftsman elevations. You'll see these cedar features. And then I think in some of our eastern and southern branches, we can do stucco, but here where I'm at in the valley, we can't. And I'm guessing you can't either. No stucco in Lincoln City.
Yeah, I think it might rain a little bit more than it should for that, but
Not
I mean, what a beautiful Pacific Northwest look though, right?
Right, yep, exactly. Like it was made for it with those trees in the background. So they went Craftsman with no modifications, although you will see in the floor plan that we converted the garage to living space. So eliminating the overhead garage door is one of the only changes you'll see to their specific version of this plan. I also like to point out that if you are looking at our website, the pricing that you see for the elevations is current and up to date. So this is the best and easiest way to see pricing. Make sure that you have the proper build area selected up here at the top. I have Mid-Willamette Valley. And then the pricing that you see is accurate for the house itself. So moving into the floor plan. So you'll see here, you have this nice covered porch area. Come into your front door and you can go down the mudroom to the garage. or into this big double door den. Going into the house, we've got this really great open kitchen, dining, great room space. And then the primary suite is also downstairs.
How convenient is that? And it is a lovely size primary suite as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this plan would be a dream for, I think, aging in place because you've got all the necessities right down here on your first level.
Absolutely.
Upstairs, we've got 3 good-sized bedrooms and then a really large bonus room, plus 1 more full bathroom. So this specific house we're looking at today, you'll see with the Craftsman elevation, you've got this extended covered porch area. Coming through the front door, everything is standard except this, what used to be garage space is now another bedroom. And then a giant mudroom with access to the side of the house. Upstairs, all standard. Okay. That being said, let's watch a video of this house. Let me move it to the correct screen though, so you can actually see it.
Now,
Oh, go ahead.
Katie, if I wanted to add an extra bathroom upstairs, would I be able to do that?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So changes, modifications, as long as we have an idea of where to put it and how to configure it to make it work, you can absolutely build on this. I just accidentally closed my video. I'm so sorry. So let me get this reopened.
Well, I'll go a little further on my question to you. I knew the answer, but what I like about Adair and the ability to modify is we have a really great team to assist all of us with that. So you bring your ideas to Katie, me, or anyone else on the homeownership counseling team, and we will work with you and our design team to come up with that perfect modification.
Love that. Yeah. And of course you have the 3 paths. So you could just take this plan and add a couple windows and some countertop, or you could take this plan and just reconfigure the whole thing. Or you could look at this plan and be like, that reminds me of something I saw one time that I like, and sketch it up and bring it to us and we'll go full custom. So yeah, I love that you brought that up. We have an excellent design team and custom design group.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to play the video. We'll pause periodically for questions, and then Eric and I love to kind of chime in with other things that we've seen do or options that you have, and just kind of chat our way through this video. So without further ado, let's make it big.
So just look at all those details on the exterior. It is so beautiful. It is not cookie cutter at all. There is so much detail in around the columns, around the windows, the vertical siding, the lap. Absolutely incredibly beautiful. And you're telling me that this was just a click of a button.
Yep. And I'm glad this is a perfect angle to see the tongue and groove under the porch entry. So this is standard in that Craftsman elevation. The gridded windows are also standard with Craftsman. But again, if you didn't want the tongue and groove, if you didn't want the grids, you can modify on the standard elevation options. So the video kind of jumps because I think there was something in the entryway when the photographer walked in. So we are right into our den. And you can see just a nice big open space. They've got a standard carpet in here. The standard window wraps are just a drywall wrapped, as you can see. So they didn't add any trim or anything special to their windows, just left them just big, beautiful open glass. We've got the standard 2 1/4 inch profiled, we call it colonial style baseboards. And then they left the standard 8-foot ceiling. So everything within this room right here is included in that base price.
Nice double doors going in too.
Standard 6-panel doors. Okay, so this is where we're going into that modified portion. So these are all a sheeted vinyl floor, which are of course included in the base price, and these wet areas. We've got in the utility room here. So this closet with bypass doors, part of the base price, part of the standards. They did add this freestanding utility sink, which of course you could choose to do, all countertops and cabinets with a drop-in sink. You could do just a rough-in for a future sink, or you can do the freestanding like they did. And then I've also lately, I'm curious if this is an Oregon-wide thing. I've been doing a lot of custom pet washing stations. Have you been seeing these?
Yes,
They're so
absolutely.
fancy too, like prettier than my shower. Um,
Well, do you not have a dog?
I have a mastiff. I'd have to fill up this room with a dog washing
I
station.
see.
Um, yeah. So some really cool things we've been doing with pet washing and then custom cabinetry. But this utility is just a nice big open space. So
It's
really,
fantastic.
yeah. As a standard over the washer and dryer space, we're going to do that 5-foot wooden shelf. Of course, you can go up and out from there too if you prefer cabinets of some sort, or if you want like a stackable washer dryer with a broom closet next door. Anything you can dream up, we can find a way. So we're going into this newly created bedroom 5. And this is just kind of a big, long, kind of narrow room. Big window at the front, standard light fixture, standard carpet, standard baseboard, and then a Sherwin-Williams paint on the wall, which we do now. We include paint in our interior and exterior, and it's all Sherwin-Williams, which I wish would have been included in the standard before I built, but I painted myself, and I would like to never ever paint anything again.
I'm going to add to that. We have about 26 exterior color choices. And if you absolutely just can't get a grasp of all of those, you're welcome to pick out your own, and we can customize the colors as well.
And every house, so for exterior, it comes with 4 color choices, I believe, as far as how many you can choose for your house. So you've got the upper body, the lower body, the front door can be its own color, the trim. So it's not like the house has to be all one color unless that's the style you're going for, and then by all means. So this is that mudroom that they created. So in lieu of a garage, because they already had a freestanding shop on the property, they didn't feel like they needed another garage. So they made a usable space. It's kind of a giant pass-through mudroom. They are avid gardeners. So actually out this window, you can kind of see where the garden is. So they wanted to be able to go back and forth to the garden, not track their mud in through the house, and have just this kind of big drop space.
That's great.
Yep. Paint all stacked up there in the corner. Then they just did a standard Therma-Tru door going right outside there. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. So this is a half bath. This half bath is located under the stairs. You can see here the slope ceiling. These are all standard features for one of our half baths. So we've got a pedestal sink, toilet, vanity light, and vinyl flooring. Mirror to come. You could, again, just like in a utility room, if you wanted some storage in here, you could absolutely have us do built-in cabinets rather than a pedestal sink.
Yeah, and those of us, or those that have seen you and I in these videos, I always reiterate how great it is to have that powder room, just one extra bath for your guests. It's just a super little extra that we put in quite a few of our homes.
Yep. I love the location too, that kind of under the stairs. So it's not too far away from the common spaces, the gathering spaces, but
The
also
use of space is great.
Yes, I totally agree.
So tell me about this kitchen.
Yes,
You're not telling me this is standard, are you?
this is 100% standard. So standard appliances, standard cabinets, standard countertops. There is not a single upgrade in here.
That's a lot of cabinets.
It is, yeah, right?
Love
So
it.
I love to, in my design appointments, spend a good chunk of time just hanging out in the kitchen and making sure the cabinet layout is as it should be, because maybe you need big pots and pans drawers over here, or you want a garbage can slide out, or a spice rack or plate rack, wine rack. Maybe you want your cabinets to go all the way to the ceiling, or a freestanding hood, or glass cabinets, or really so many great options for cabinets. And that is just a perk of having kind of a sister company in Ridgecrest Cabinetry. These are all made to order. The recessed lights in here, standard. I do probably some of the most popular upgrades I do in cabinets are pendant lights over the island and then
For
under
sure.
lights. So all the lighting in kitchens. But you can see it comes with a good amount of receptacles in here. They're on either side of the island too. So really, this kitchen is set up and ready to use. We are going to do the standard Whirlpool brand stainless steel 30-inch range, microwave hood, and then the dishwasher, which you'll see when we turn the corner. For the refrigerator, we're gonna do the plug and then we're gonna plumb a gas or a water line for your ice maker. That's standard.
So I get to pick out my own refrigerator then.
You get to pick out. You can pick one of those ones that can like look inside the fridge and then make your grocery list for you.
Fantastic. I need that.
Yes. And then this particular house, so you've got this built-in pantry space here. A pretty common upgrade we do is to, in the primary suite, push that closet down to make room for a walk-in pantry. And then this could then be, you know, built-in appliances or just upper and lower cabinet space instead.
Super.
Okay, this support column in the island. Some people love it, some people hate it. You can absolutely work around it. So if you'd prefer not to have that column there, we can absolutely write a custom option, do an enlarged beam up here and eliminate that.
The nice thing about having it this way, though, is it's still open. In the olden days, which takes me back, that was all enclosed because everyone thought we should have cabinets over that, and you don't have to. This is open, it's clean, it's simple, and
Yep,
you can mark your kids' growth spurts.
exactly. Exactly. You can be, you know, part of the group that's in here watching the football game and you're in the kitchen,
Totally.
you're all together. Yep, completely agree. So I love that we have the finished carpenters in there when we're doing this video. But so what we're looking at here, we're kind of standing against the wall in the great room, looking into that kitchen dining space. And again, we've got all standard flooring in this house. This is a standard dining fixture, or it was at the time. It's slightly different now. You can do any, I mean, you could choose to carry your recessed lights throughout. You could do a special light fixture. You can do so many options as far as electrical and lighting. And then
Yes.
same with windows and doors. So they chose to leave the standard 6-foot sliding glass door here. I mean, you could do a 12-foot sliding glass door. You could do a single door and transoms and
How about French doors?
French doors, yes, only if there is a cover out the door. So
And I
some
bet you we build those covers too.
we do. So convenient that you brought that up. Yes. Atrium doors, we do a lot of atrium doors here out of this branch
for
as
sure.
well. Okay, play the movie. This guy caught me off guard the first time I watched this. I didn't see him there until we were right up next to him.
Yeah, I caught that earlier.
Okay, so what you are looking at here, we are leaving the dining room and headed into the primary suite. And the two panels you see back there on the wall. So first of all, two panels because they have a 400 amp service to their house rather than a standard 200 amp. And then because we eliminated the garage, which is where we typically would put your electrical panels, this is their backup plan. So this is where they chose to have those located. And I think it's the shortest distance to their tent pole. So they're kind of planning accordingly with the location of those. All right, so some things to know about this bathroom. They carried their same cabinets from the kitchen into the bathroom. You don't have to. You could do a different cabinet in every room of this house if you chose. They did a standard laminate countertop in here. Again, there's lots of options within that standard laminate group for their solid surfaces or more of a high definition laminate. Because they did laminate, we did top mount sinks. Had they done a solid surface, we would have done under mount. And then now as a standard, a slight change, we're gonna do a little vanity light over either sink in this room instead of just one big one.
It's nice to have the continuity of cabinetry throughout the house too, though. So I appreciate creativity, but
you like the flow.
I like things to matchy.
I concur. I concur. Okay, we've got in here. So as a standard now in the houses that have a large enough primary suite, we're gonna do this walk-in fiberglass shower. But then we're also going to do a drop-in tile deck tub. So you can, for those of you that are non-tub people, you can absolutely delete the tub and have that usable space back. Otherwise, it's a really nice, deep, great option for a tub. You could also choose to do a tile shower or modifications to your shower. I have done some pretty wild shower designs and I love it. I'm here for it.
I've got a couple coming up that are absolutely beautiful mix of colors, and they are going to be fantastic.
Yep. I love that. I'm excited. Assuming you're going to do some videos and show me those showers. I just instantly assumed I would see them. So, okay, this is one little change they did. So they added the 6-foot sliding glass door. And you can see why they've got this monster deck out here with a really cute railing. They did this all themselves. We set them up with a ledger board and then they connected the deck.
That's another thing that people should keep in mind is the ease of the ability for us to engineer the home to do things later. One of my favorite, and it's kind of nerdy, but is the generator panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant.
What's nerdy about that? That's preparedness at its finest.
Well, maybe I don't look like a prepper. This closet, look at this.
Yeah. Oh,
love it.
Thought we had another second in there. Yeah.
It's all
nice
good.
big open closet, shelf and pole all the way around. In Crestwell, we don't have a subcontractor that does closet organizers. So what I would typically do is just pull that shelf and pull out of there and just leave a nice blank canvas if you had a specific thought for closet organizer or built-ins in your closet. Okay, we are climbing up into the bonus room, and this room is massive.
And how great, again, and I've said this before on these certain models, I love going upstairs and you have somewhere to be. You're not at the end of a hallway or turning, right? It's just, you have another room. It's somewhere to be, and I love it.
Totally agree. And me, thinking of my boys, my kids, I love the idea of having a space to confine them to. So you leave your TV and your games and your mess upstairs, and then the downstairs is mine. So this bonus room is
There you go.
yours. So we've got a standard window here, standard light, standard everything in this space. But you can see it's just a big open room. I have had people before design kind of a wall system to make it its own private enclosed space rather than just open to the stairs. Speaking of stairs, I've also had people do kind of an open rail or a different feel for the half wall here. Here's standard light fixture in the stairs, standard window. I feel like I'm just saying standard over and over, but it blows my mind.
And as I work with a lot of investors here on the coast, and I'm looking at this thinking, this is fantastic. This is ready to go. It's absolutely incredible. It's clean and efficient.
Totally agree. So first bedroom, we didn't get a look at the closet. It has the bypass doors, and the doors match whatever your interior door selection is. And if you don't love bypass doors, we can work something else out there. But you can see it's a good size room, good size bedroom. And the view doesn't hurt either.
No.
All right, we've got some storage up here.
I was just going to say, is that 2 closets, 2 extra?
One of them is housing the furnace. However, good usable space.
Fantastic.
And then another good sized bedroom with those gridded windows again. I love that look. And then this one has a walk-in closet rather than a bypass door closet.
Oh, interesting. It's almost like a dual master.
It could be used that way. And then last but not least, just another big room. This one again has the bypass door, so a little bit narrower, shallower closet.
Now, if I were, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just going to say,
well, if I wanted to add another window, I bet you I could, right?
You absolutely could. Yep. You cannot remove all of the windows from a bedroom, but you can add as many as your heart desires, assuming the walls can support it. So we've got now, this is just a nice big vanity in here. We have a 6-foot vanity. They chose to just go with one sink in here. There's absolutely space for a second sink if that is your preference. And then toilet, and I'm not sure we get a good look at it, but across from the toilet is this fiberglass tub shower combo that's included in the base price. And then just a nice look at this nice, bright, airy bonus room on our way back down the stairs.
You know, you could stay upstairs quite a bit and let your guests hang out down, right?
Absolutely. Especially where you're at. I mean, you have those ocean views from the top floor
That's true.
and all your time up there.
That's just a beautiful exterior. Look at that.
It really is. Yeah. And I remember, so I actually went to this site evaluation with the superintendent and they had this giant redwoods deck that they wanted to incorporate. So they had their excavator kind of slide it backwards and he's basically going to reattach it to the house when it's all done. So, lots of deck. They had just a really lovely location. You can see the trees kind of look like they're made for this house. So I'm gonna let the video play again. And then of course, typical Eric and Katie open house, we like to talk a little bit about site development, financing, when to talk to an HOC. And this is a good opportunity for you to send any questions you have our way.
Sure.
We would love
And I think any time is a good time to talk to an HOC with Adair, even if it's just, I wonder if I could do this. That's a good time. Well, I've always wanted to, but that's a good time.
I have an appointment coming up this weekend, this Saturday, that is a 3-year plan. So she says, we found the property, we own the property. We're not at a point yet where we're ready to build, but I want to see the stepping stone so I can stay motivated and inspired. I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. Let's talk about this house. Let's build a budget.
So Katie, we have a question about windows, and that is, they're wondering if we can do unique shaped windows, like round on the stairs rather than the rectangle.
Interesting. So we work with Geldwin. I myself have never done any round windows, so I can't say for certain that we can or can't. I'm leaning towards we probably can't. Do you know the answer to this one?
I don't know the exact answer other than we would always field the question to the appropriate party in the design team and see if we can do it. Yeah,
I agree. I'm interested though. I'm curious. I'm going to have to look when we're done here. But typically I say, you know, if it's a dual pane vinyl window from Geldwin, then likely yes. Although I know we do have a few limitations to that. So I'm going to give it a rock solid maybe. Okay, so as far as site prep and site development, you might have noticed coming into this one, they've still got kind of a lot happening outside. And what happened here is they decided to develop their own site. So they had the property, they called us, we sent our site services team out to look at it. And then the site services leader just gave them a list like, hey, in order to put the house that you're interested in here on your property, here's the list of work that needs done. Here's a plot plan to show you placement and measurements and dimensions. Do you want our guide to quote your site prep, or would you prefer to find your own people or even handle the site prep yourself? And they chose option B, which we call owner equity. So they worked kind of hand in hand with their site superintendent. And then they prepped the site themselves. So they prepared for the house, and then we just guided them to make sure they were kind of doing it according to plan or according to our needs.
Yeah, here on the
yes, please go ahead.
Here on the coast, we have a lot of people who don't necessarily live full time, and it is such a blessing to them that we do offer the ability to manage that for them. And so if you don't know how to use an excavation machine, why, you know, we know someone who does. And that is something that you should really talk with your HOC about, in the beginning. I think it's an important conversation. I love going to the site evaluations myself. And when we're all there, including the excavation team, questions get answered very quickly.
Yep. We have an excavator too who can kind of make very educated guesses on what's below the surface based on what's growing above. So that's always really entertaining or interesting to me. He can say, you know what, I think that we need to plan for big rocks or boulders based on this moss that I see. That always blows my mind. Like, how did you know that? And he's usually spot on. So, but then again, like in my specific build, my husband's best friend is an excavator. And so we were able to say, all right, we want to work with Joe. He came in, we paid him in pizza. It was magical. So it's nice to have those two options. Just be very heavily involved or not involved at all, just based on your needs and your time restraints. One nice thing though is either way, whether you go our turnkey path or our owner equity path, there's not a lot for you to do during the build. So you're going to provide a porta potty if you're owner equity. If you're turnkey, we will. But then we're going to do all the cleanup, and we're going to do the painting, and we're going to do the dry out, I'm sorry. So really during the build itself, you just get to watch your house go up. You're not heavily involved. You're not stressed about what you need to get done.
And another part to that, which I think is great, and I know our in-house Adair Financial Services, they will wrap the home and the site development, and also I think the land, right?
Into one loan. Yep.
So it's kind of a one-stop shop
Yep.
for a new home.
Yep, absolutely. Typical construction loan intended to buy the property, pay for any site prep, and pay for the house. And then for those of you that have done like my customers this weekend with a 3-year plan where they just purchase the land with a land-only loan, your construction loan will buy that out. So again, when you're ready to start, it's all rolled into that one construction loan.
It's almost like we've been doing this a long time, and we've got a good system in place to help people.
Very true. Surprisingly user-friendly. Does price include standard foundation? It does. The price is foundation to finish. So when you're looking at that price online, that is for the house and everything attached to it. Your additional costs would be the price of the land, the price of any site prep required, and then any upgrades you choose to do inside the house. And we can always too. So if you're looking at a piece of property and you're considering this, first of all, we like you to just make an offer, of course. We want to come see the property after you have an accepted offer. The idea, though, is that you're writing this offer with a feasibility period or a due diligence period or some sort of refundable earnest money period. And we're going to utilize that period to come out and see the property with you and just make sure that you can do what you want to do with it. And the idea behind that is that if you end up, say, you love the Liberty plan and we get out, see the lot, and we're like, okay, this lot cannot accommodate the Liberty plan, you can either say, okay, I want to move forward anyways and pick a new plan, or you can say, all right, let's find a new lot. And in that case, because you're in that refundable earnest money period, you get your earnest money back, you keep shopping, no harm, no foul.
One thing that we do on the coast, there's a number of lots that people just fall in love with. They absolutely want that. Maybe one of our homes just isn't, it's close, but they just want to borrow from it, and we can do custom homes to fit that lot, and we do that quite a bit here on the coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen, I feel like I see a lot of garage under type plans or daylight basement type plans coming from your neck of the woods. Steep, narrow lots, I'm assuming. Is that a
vary with 35 on up foot height restrictions? So I'm working on one that's 45 feet. So I think we can handle that.
Another thing that we like to do after we come out and see the lot, we can usually kind of get you a ballpark. So, based on the site development needed, based on the house you're looking at, we're going to estimate you to be in this range for site prep. And then you can say, you know what, let's move forward. Let's get a bid from the turnkey contractor and get exact numbers. Or you might say, okay, that's more than I want to take on. So So it's great. I think, like Eric was saying earlier, it's never too early to utilize our knowledge within the location. So you've got your homeownership counselor who can kind of guide you and steer you. And then also the site services team is a big asset to you as well. And I heard there's a new site services program coming down the pipeline very soon. So I'm excited about that. One of these virtual open houses, we'll be able to announce that someday soon.
Kind of building on what you were saying, one thing that I like that we all do, and that is working through what we lovingly refer to as the 6 steps to success. But what I'm saying here is we have a very system-oriented, step-by-step process, and it's just fantastic for people who have never done this. It's fantastic for people who have done a lot of remodels, but they may not have done this. And for some of our clients who have built before, they love it because it just simplifies everything.
Agreed. Let's see, what haven't we touched on? I want to give one more second for any questions to come through, but.
Is there any questions in regards to construction loans? Sometimes that's a biggie.
Some nice things to know on construction loans. Of course, you mentioned a couple of things already, but one thing that I like is if you are in the early stages of planning or deciding if this is feasible, Adair Finances does a soft pull credit option. So you could say, you know what, I've been working on my credit for a couple of years. Let's see if we're there. Let's see if I qualify for what I want to borrow. You can fill out an application and find out where you're at. Again, with kind of out dinging that credit score with the usual application process. So that's a nice option as well, or a nice
Absolutely.
feature. Okay. Anything that we haven't talked about? I think we've touched on all our usuals.
Well, I tell you what, Katie, you helped work on this house, correct?
I did, yeah.
I want to commend you. I love it. It's for standard, the tasteful nature of the interior. It really showcases what you can do with standard features, and I really appreciate that about the company.
I do too. I completely agree. Okay, well, until next time, I think we've got a couple more in our future. Maybe not this month, but next month we'll be back. But thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll catch you at the next one too. And thank you so much, Eric, for your co-hosting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Reach out.